everybody.
Hi.
It's nice to have you all here. So I had on the schedule tonight that we were going to talk about habits, and we can talk about habits. For some reason, every time I started to sit down to give some thought to this evening, I couldn't remember what we were supposed to talk about, and the only thing that would come to me was to talk about stress. Yeah, it was like crazy. And then I would go back and I'd look at the schedule and I'd be like, oh yeah, habits. And then I'd go away from it again and I'd think, what did that schedule say? Stress? So something it feels like it was pushing me towards talking about stress. And I think that that stress, there's a lot about stress that is a habit, so we can kind of combine the two also. I'm just going to talk for a couple minutes about what I've learned about stress through my study of these principles, and then I'll turn the camera off so that we can just like have a little bit more open conversation. The biggest thing that I've learned about stress is the fact that it doesn't come from anything outside of us. And I know that can be really hard to see at times. We think that that we're in what we call a stressful situation. And I remember talking to somebody whose husband was a physician and said, well, okay, I can see that, but, my husband truly is in stressful life and death situations, and that creates stress. And what I've come to see, and what is I think worth exploring, is that even in what we might consider the most stressful situation from a society perspective, it's still our own thinking that's going to create our experience in that moment. And there's something, at least for me, that's really freeing about that. To know that it's not anything outside of me. Yeah, and it doesn't mean I can change it. Feeling stress is really human. And just being able to feel it and be with whatever is without trying to fight it is just as beautiful as recognizing that it's coming from inside me. My stress is coming from inside me. The other thing, I went back today. I teach kids. I teach the principles to kids, and I took a look at the lesson on stress, and I was reminded of a couple of things. One is, when we feel stress, we feel it in our bodies, right? So every thought that we have, we feel somewhere in our body, and it comes up as an emotion. And that feeling, that's our internal wisdom speaking up. And it's telling us we're up in our heads, that we're caught up in our thought process. So it's a really wonderful warning system when we feel that stress in our bodies to kind of wake us up and say, oh, there's a lot going on. And sometimes that's an opportunity to just let ourselves settle. Sometimes even just seeing it and feeling it automatically helps us settle, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's this great warning, wake up, alert, alarm system, yeah. And then the other part of it is that inside of that, we have our own inner wisdom. So when we allow ourselves to settle, or we allow ourselves to feel the stress, and we just accept what is, automatically we start to settle, and then possibilities start to open. And our vision literally gets bigger, and we start to see what's going to be right for us to get through that moment. So it's really this great system that works. I guess I'll say just a couple of things about habits, about stress and habit. I think the reason that we see certain situations as stressful does come from habitual thinking. And the thing that just occurred to me was like a test when you're in school. We automatically assume that that's going to be a stressful feeling. And so we get ourselves all revved up about it. And you can see it in a lot of kids that they get so stressed that they have trouble taking the test. Right? And that really points to our functioning in the world too when we're under stress. You know, a lot of us think that, I need a certain amount of stress to get me revved up, to get me going. But when you think about your most high functioning moments, they're usually when you're really clear-headed.
Right.
Yeah. And so you don't need the stress. So it all combines to like this opportunity to see it as coming from me, to give myself a chance to settle, and to know that I don't have to feel it in the moment to be successful enough.